Hello everyone. Welcome to the final 2022 summer episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. Summer is ending and school is back in session. There are still some final concerts and events for all families to do before school starts up in full. I'll be talking about these events on this week's episode, plus introducing a new spin on RT's favorite films called RT's Dueling Films, where I'll be comparing two recent movies. First, it's time for this episode's trivia question. This episode's question is, what does the Marvel film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the independent horror film Uma have in common? Now, for this episode's local headlines. As stated at the beginning of this episode, school is back in session in Berkshire County. As such, it's important to know when school is starting throughout the many districts, so you can prepare for the year of learning ahead. Here is the list of when public school systems in Berkshire County are reopening. First, Lee's Public School District starts on Monday, August 29th. Central Berkshire Public Schools has an orientation day for grades pre-K, kindergarten, 6 and 9 on Tuesday, August 30th, and the next day will be the first day for everyone. North Adams and Mount Greylock both have their first days on August 31st for all students. For Pittsfield Public Schools, their first day is September 1st for all students, with the first day of kindergarten on September 9th. Local colleges are also starting up. In Pittsfield, Berkshire Community College will be hosting a new student orientation on Thursday, September 1st. With classes beginning on Tuesday, September 6th. In MCLA at North Adams, they will be very busy from September 3rd through September 6th with kickoff week. Please note that these days will be a little crazier for traffic, so it's important to avoid places near MCLA. Classes start on September 7th. The same goes for Williams College on August 30th through September 7th, as they have their first days. Classes start on September 8th. In previous episodes of WWHEN, I've mentioned that Barrington Stage Company in Pittsfield is looking for a new artistic director, as Julianne Boyd has announced her retirement after 28 years with the company. Now, after an extensive search, Boyd's replacement has been announced. On August 3rd, it was announced that Alan Paul would be the new artistic director. Paul worked for the Shakespeare Theatre Company, not the one in Lenox, Massachusetts, but rather one out of Washington, D.C., since 2007. Paul has worked at this version of the Shakespeare Company for almost 15 years, and also works as a theater director like Julianne Boyd. His version of All the Devils Are Here was a New York Times critic pick. He is also a prolific fundraiser. Actors and actresses such as Judi Dench, Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, and Angela Bassett, plus public figures including former President Bill Clinton, have worked with him in the past. In a press release, Maria Golda said, quote, "He has demonstrated his loves of classics, musicals, and new works, and his extensive knowledge of the theatrical canon. He will honor the past and develop new and exciting programming for our audiences," end quote. In his own press release, Paul said, quote, "I am excited to build on BSC's legacy as an incubator for new plays and musicals from a broad variety of voices. Musicals are my first love, and I plan to make the advancement of musical theater a cornerstone of my version," end quote. When asked about her replacement, Julianne Boyd said in an interview to the Berkshire Eagle, quote, "We connected artistically from the moment I met him. It is time for someone to lead the theater in exciting new directions, both on our stages and in our community. Alan is the ideal person," end quote. WWHEN wishes Alan Paul the best of luck in his new job, and also wishes Julianne Boyd a happy and safe retirement. Next, we will be visiting Tanglewood and Lenox for their final popular concert of the year. This final artist is a particularly big get, former Beatles drummer Ringo Starr. This will conclude the Popular Artist Series of 2022, which was a huge success considering the last one was held in 2019. He was originally supposed to perform on June 17th, but a positive COVID test pushed it to September 5th. Visit bso.org to purchase tickets, which are extremely limited. Those who had tickets to the originally scheduled concert can receive a credit for future Boston Pops, Symphony Hall, or Tanglewood performances. Masks are required as well as proof of COVID vaccination. At the Berkshire Theatre Group, they will be putting on a performance of Edward Albee's Seascape at the Unicorn Theatre in Stockbridge. According to the Berkshire Theatre Group's website, quote, "Winner of the Pulitzer Prize, Seascape brings true eloquence to its compelling yet subtle examination of the very meaning and significance of life itself. Told with Edward Albee's signature ironic wit and razor-sharp perception, Seascape finds Nancy and Charlie, a middle-aged couple on a deserted stretch of beach, relaxing after a picnic lunch, talking about home, family, and their life together. She sketches, he naps, and suddenly they are joined by two lizards who have decided to leave the ocean depths and come above," end quote. This version is directed by Eric Hill, with further movement direction by Isadora Wolf, who also helped with Berkshire Theatre Group's production of Dracula earlier in 2022. Seascape takes place from September 29th through October 23rd. It will be performed at the Unicorn Theatre in Stockbridge. There will be a talkback night with Eric Hill, Isadora Wolf, and the cast on Saturday, October 1st, plus a sensory-friendly performance of the show for those with disabilities on Thursday, October 13th. Visit berkshiretheatregroup.org to purchase tickets. Masks are required for all Unicorn Theatre productions. At the Williams College Museum of Art, artist Franz Zeffarin will be displayed. Zeffarin is a Haitian-born artist who offers a window into the deeply mystical viewpoint of the spiritual nature of his home country. His paintings document scenes of spiritual life, and he transforms the spirits into animals. As Zeffarin himself explained in an interview with Williams College's newspaper, The Williams Record, quote, "Look closely. In every person there is an animal, a monkey, an elephant, a crocodile, a giraffe. I see them in a gesture, an attitude, a character trait, and immediately fix them on the canvas," end quote. This exhibit is open from now until December. To purchase tickets, visit the website shown here. Masks are required at all times, and proof of vaccine is required. Downtown Pittsfield will be hosting 2 events in early fall. The first will be a free kids paint and sip. This event will be held in conjunction with the September 2nd First Fridays Art Walk, which will take place in a dozen locations in downtown Pittsfield. Materials, snacks, and juice will be provided for the paint, which will celebrate the beginning of fall. It's similar to an adult paint and sip, but because of the child-friendly atmosphere, no alcoholic beverages will be provided. Kids Paint and Sip will take place on Friday, September 2nd from 5 to 7 p.m. It will be held at the parklet and outdoor seating area at the Marketplace Cafe at 53 North Street. This is a free event, best suited for ages 5 to 12, although older children are welcome. Children must be accompanied by an adult, and masks are recommended. The alternate rain location will be at Hot Harry's covered outdoor seating area at 37 North Street. The other downtown Pittsfield event will be that of Art Week Berkshires. One Berkshires and the 5 cultural districts of Berkshire County are celebrating and collaborating on a 10-day festival featuring all things creative. Last year, the festival included over 100 distinct events, from open studios and live performances to poetry readings and online crafting classes. There is no fee to be an Art Week Berkshires participant. The Art Week Berkshires will be going on from September 15th through the 25th. It will be free for all visitors. Masks are not required. If you would like to show off your artwork, visit https://downtownpittsfield.com for more information. The Clark Art Museum in Williamstown will be hosting a new art exhibit. This exhibit highlights Jose Guadalupe Posada. Posada's active years coincided with the rule of Porfirio Diaz, a leader who brought modernization and relative stability to Mexico at the cost of press censorship and political repression. Posada was the only caricaturist who worked through the most authoritarian years of Diaz's dictatorship and into the first years of the Mexican Revolution. Seldomly over-political, Posada's images catered to public taste for the sensational and shocking. Natural disasters and folk celebrations, bullfights and murders, icons of popular religion and caricatures of both individual and social types, all were fodder for his illustrations. A remarkably flexible artist, whose imagination often veered towards the surreal, Posada remains best known for his calaverias, or skeletons, whose vitality and comic antics belie their macabre symbolism, end quote. Though his life was short-lived, Jose Guadalupe Posada remains one of the most important artists in Mexican culture. The Jose Guadalupe Posada exhibit will be taking place from now until November. Masks and proof of vaccines are required for all patrons. It's now time for this episode's movie portion of WWHEN. As stated at the beginning of this episode, this version will have its own twist. We are going to be comparing two movies that I have seen recently. The movies are different in quality and tone, and one movie is better than the other. Let's meet our movie contenders in the first ever WWHEN heavyweight battle. In one corner, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is the latest Marvel movie, so plot details won't be discussed in full due to spoilers. So far, this is the second highest grossing movie of 2022, only behind Top Gun Maverick. In the other corner, we have Uma. This is an independent horror film, so plot details will be discussed. Uma follows a mother, Amanda, and her daughter living a quiet life on an American farm. When the remains of Amanda's abusive mother, or Uma, arrive from Korea, Amanda becomes haunted by the fear of turning into her. This movie barely made a blip on the American radar, and I personally had no idea this movie even existed until a couple of days prior to renting it at my local library. So which movie wins? The box office giant in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or the indie horror hit in Uma? In a shocking upset, Uma is the better movie than Doctor Strange is. First, a review of Doctor Strange. While it does have everything we love about Marvel films, good action sequences, some funny moments, and some good special effects, something is very, very off about Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness. The movie suffers from something that is called continuity lockout. This is something that occurs when it becomes impossible to recognize certain plot points of a movie without having watched previous material. This case of continuity lockout is especially damaging. Some of the required watching includes material that is streaming exclusive, which is not fair to people who don't or can't stream. Marvel is tooting their own horn with this movie. It feels like we're Marvel and you're not, so we're going to do whatever we want. Also, the tone of this movie is very weird, and not the good weird. It's bizarre, and the superhero movie mixes with horror, which doesn't work at all for Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel fan, so please don't shoot the messenger. This is not Marvel's finest hour, but they should bounce back. Uma, on the other hand, is a very simple psychological horror film. It is not bloody or gory at all, which always makes for a better horror film. It also has some realism in it. We're always haunted by our demons, and there is a certain fear of us turning into our parents, especially if they were not the nicest people. Uma does a good job representing that. Also, Sandra Oh is amazing as Amanda, the Korean-American heroine of the story. Uma shows the best movies don't always have to be the most expensive or the most flashy. They just need to be good, interesting stories. These two movies also bring us the answer to this episode's trivia question. As a reminder, this episode's question was, what does the Marvel film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the independent horror film Uma have in common? The answer is director Sam Raimi. Raimi is one of the world's most fascinating horror movie directors. Some of his biggest hits have included Evil Dead and the original Spider-Man series. When it comes to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, he was the director of the film while he was one of the producers on Uma. That ends this episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHEN episode again, you can visit Pittsfield TV's and CTSB TV's websites shown here, or visit NBCTC's Facebook page. Also, if you would like to see the episodes in HD quality, make sure to check out my YouTube page at RT Wehry. Thank you.